Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we're taking a look at my 4-month ownership review of my 2013 Chevy Volt. And today we're going to get started with the exterior and then we'll hop into the interior on my way home from work. So I bought the Chevy Volt in the beginning of April. It is now the beginning of August. So it's been a good 4 months here driving the vehicle. I've almost got 5,000 miles on the vehicle itself. And when I bought the vehicle, I did have to do a little bit of a paint correction on it here. Just a very light one to get out some of those scratches and swirl marks, more so the swirl marks than anything else. But this is in the silver topaz color. So it would be better named kind of an ice blue. That's kind of what it looks like here. But over the course of the 4 months, it's been fairly flawless. I have had to change out the headlight bulbs or the high intensity discharge lamps. I have had to change those out. And it looks like I should be getting a tire alignment here pretty soon, as well as when I drive it pulls to the left a little bit. Otherwise, wipers, lights, everything has worked really nicely on the exterior. So on the interior, I'll go over how it drives and you know what the pros and cons are of it. But over the exterior here, it looks really good. Something I'm just not super impressed by, and it's more of my own doing here. The plastic itself hasn't really retained that super black color, but I don't think that was the color they were exactly looking for. And you could see I still have some polish on there, so I do need to detail that a little bit more as well. But overall here, the car's held up well. The tires, I may have to do something about the tires before winter, but I think I can actually get through winter here. I probably got about another 5,000 miles left on them, so it's going to be really close to winter time. But overall, paint is high quality. As you can see, there is a little bit of cracking and discoloration here on the Chevy emblem. But other than that, for being a 2013, this vehicle has held up just exceptionally well. Very, very, very impressed. Still on the first set of brakes, which I should be. And the regenerative braking helps out with that. And really, it's been just a great vehicle. So let's hop in, take it for a drive. So you're going to hear fan noise, and that's it, because the AC is on right now. It's on full blast inside the car. Let's take a listen. It sounds like a refrigerator in terms of loudness, like my freezer there or refrigerator on the other side. All that you can really hear is the fan noise. You don't actually hear the vehicle. That's how quiet the vehicle is, which is awesome. It's really fantastic. Coming from somebody who, you know, as a couple, we have 4 loud cars. This is awesome that this car is so quiet. You can leave any place undetected and nobody will know that you are driving. It's really phenomenal. And we're setting out in the Chevy Volt here. I don't have my normal camera equipment today, so we're just doing it free-handedly. And I do have to say, hopefully now with this view, I'll be able to show a little bit of some driving dynamics here. I don't intend on speeding because, frankly, this car really just isn't that good at speeding. But we have a car coming. So, taking it out on the road here, I just want you all to hear that. There's a little click at stop and go, which is interesting. I'm still not sure what that is, and I've said it in my other videos. So sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. So it's a little click. It's always in low gear, which is just essentially more regenerative braking. And I think what it is something to do with a bolt. I've heard it in other videos before. I think it has something to do with a bolt that is either loose or sheared off. I just can't remember. But here, as we take this first corner here, it really corners nice for being such a small, heavy vehicle. You know, the Volt being 3,900 pounds, It's actually quite fun to drive around the corners because there's no steering feel in this whatsoever. You can basically, the steering is so loose, you can basically fling this vehicle where you want and it goes where you want it to go because it's a front wheel drive car. And yes, it does push you in the corners, but the front wheel drive allows you to get through those corners essentially where you want to go because it is such a heavy vehicle and all the center of gravity is low in the vehicle because of that T-shaped battery pack. So it is pretty fun to drive considering, you know, the low horsepower of it in the corners, I would say, or when you're turning. You know, it's nothing like any of the other vehicles I have, but because that electric power, if you put it in sport mode, it just gives you something that you don't necessarily get from other vehicles, just that instantaneous torque and power. But some other things I want to talk about here. I mean, really, what I discussed already is really the only things that went wrong over the 4,000 miles is basically that bolt or whatever, and then the other stuff I talked in the beginning part of the video. But for the most part here, and this person is not looking where they're going. Jeez, didn't even hear me. Huh. So for the most part, everything has held up very well. The interior in here is great. And yes, it is cheaper materials, but all of it has held up great. Again, this really doesn't sit out in the sun very much, so it looks basically brand new. And I don't think it sat out in the sun with the previous owner. So being a 2013, it's 11 years old now, going on 12, and it really looks brand new. The center stack looks great. The shifter looks really nice. Not a lot of scratches on anything. The infotainment system and the digital display in front of me still look relatively new, and honestly, compared to even some new GM products, it looks ahead of the time compared to what they're even putting out right now, to tell you the truth. I think it's thoughtfully designed. I mean, yeah, that's hard plastic, but at least it looks good. At least it livens up the interior a little bit with that gray accenting, and it really gives a bland interior a nice look. So now as we take a corner here, we've got it floored, literally floored, as you can see. And yeah, it isn't very fast, but it feels very steady. And I'm excited to see what this vehicle is going to be like, or feel what this vehicle is going to be like in the wintertime with some better tires on it and that low center of gravity, along with the regenerative braking. So as I take my foot off the pedal, you know, it essentially slows me down. So you have to use less brakes and less of a chance of locking up my brakes on, you know, stuff like this when it's not a panic stop. So I'm curious to see how that goes. And now being 82 degrees out, we're finally at the time of the year in August when it's extremely hot out. So now I'm finally able to experience what the car is like when it's conditioning its battery. And I've read a lot about this. You're supposed, when it's extremely hot or extremely cold, if you're at home and even though your battery is charged, leave it plugged into the charger because it conditions the battery. So you can hear the air conditioning running, and that pushes the air to the battery, I believe, or the heater. You know, it'll run the heater off electricity, and that will help with the conditioning of the battery so it doesn't get too hot or too cool. Essentially, so it doesn't heat soak or cool soak the battery. You know, whenever we have our phones outside, as a great example, when it's either too hot or too cold, the battery really dies on it fast. And that's essentially what it does here when it's hot out and the car is just sitting. So it's pretty nice that it does that. It helps with the longevity of the batteries. Honestly, this vehicle is it's 11 years old. If I drive normal and not, you know, super fast, I can get the advertised 35 miles to a charge. Now, yes, it has degraded a little bit. Even when I'm going like 60 to 65, it has degraded. I get about 30 miles to a charge. But for me, it's perfect because I leave home and then I go to my place of work, which is my business, and I plug it in there. And then I leave home and I go home or go to the gym and work out or go coach or what, you know, do whatever I do after extracurricular activities after work. And this vehicle essentially works really well. Now on those longer trips, you'll see right here, we've driven this car 4,545 miles since we bought it. We have, not bad in 4 months, we have used 19.8 gallons of gas. We have averaged 229.8 miles per gallon. So essentially, it's cost us basically $80 in gas to drive 45 for mileage. And it costs about $50 a month to charge this vehicle. So really not too bad. Not too bad at all. Of course, we do more driving in the summertime than the wintertime, and this car does a great job at it. But for most of our travel, we have used, I would say 75% of our travel, we have used electric power. Now on those longer trips, shopping trips or whatever, then yeah, you need to tap into the gas, which is what it's meant for, which makes it perfect, a perfect use case for, you know, somebody like me or my girlfriend. Otherwise, the vehicle has been great over 4 months. I am very impressed with it, very happy. The steering wheel I absolutely hate. I've griped about this in my other videos. It sucks. You know, it's vinyl, it's like rhino skin. It just is not a good steering wheel. But hey, this is a basic Chevy Volt. What do you expect? No heated seats, none of that. And to be honest with you, I'm totally okay with that. I guess I really don't have anything else to say. I love the vehicle, and I'll keep doing monthly updates on it here, and that'll be it. So guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next episode. If you like this content, like and subscribe. Take care.